I think it's normal for people to sometimes lose motivation, I don't think it's I don't think it's a big deal, because there are certain times where you get into this rut where you're like, do I even need to do this? Like, what am I even here for and all that? Like, it happened to me a few weeks ago, so I get it, like, it's pretty normal. But then the most important thing is that you get back on your feet and do what you need to do, you understand? One way you can get your motivation back is when you think about all the people depending on your success. You're not the only one depending on your success. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, the only one depending on your success. There are plenty people depending on you getting to the point where they struggle to push you to. Your parents took care of you for over 18 years, constantly paying school fees, constantly doing all those things that they did to make sure you're comfortable in order to learn and get the best grades and all that to push you to that point. They did so many things, work countless hours, had sleepless nights thinking of how to pay your school fees and all that. So you owe it to them to be successful, because when you're successful, you can give them a good life or a luxurious life for the rest of their life, the rest of the time they have on this earth. Maybe they have about 30 years or so. So you can give them the chance to just relax and not struggle anymore, because there are some parents who raise kids who don't get to the point where they hoped they'll get to, and they are not able to retire in peace. Even after retirement, they still have to find certain menial works to do in order to help their kids out and to help themselves out at home and all that. And I don't think that's what they imagined for themselves. Every parent gives birth with the hope that their child will get to a point where they can also relax, and enjoy the rest of their lives, maybe go on vacations and all that. But then when you raise a kid who is not really reaching his potential or her potential, then you get to a point where it's like you've wasted all that money paying fees and all that because it amounted to nothing. So if you want to get your motivation back, think about your family, your parents, your mom, your dad. Think about your future family, your wife, your kids. Do you want them to do you want to give do you want to do you want to have kids or bring kids into this world for them to suffer like the way you did or the way your parents did? Like everyone wants to bring kids into the world and put them in a position where they are very comfortable, and that depends on you being successful. So when you are sleeping off and you are playing video games, you should know that you are wasting time. Personally, I don't have a problem with video games. I think video games are very good. They are very therapeutic. After a long day, you come here stressed out. You need to release stress. I think playing video games is a good way of doing that. But then it becomes a problem when it's like you are playing video games 24/7 and you're not making money out of it, and you're just playing it for fun and you're wasting valuable time. If you are playing video games in the evening, that is fine. But during the day, you should find a way to make money, or you should be doing something productive, because it's during the day that most people are productive. In the evening, you can relax, ease stress and all that. But during the day, you need to do something productive. So video games are a good way in the evenings when you're not being productive. Then that is a good time to play video games. But during the day, you should find something to do. If it's handiwork that you can do, if maybe school is not yours, maybe yours is handiwork, maybe plumbing, sewing, something like that, that's fine. You can learn that, become a master at it, then you can do something with it, like as a business or something. But then don't just sit around lazing around and being stuck in that rut. If you need someone to talk to, you can talk to someone, someone you trust, someone you can confide in. The person can also be a source of motivation for you. The person can talk to you and give you that boost or push you need in order to start doing what you need to do. The point is you not staying unmotivated. Is it unmotivated? Whatever the word is, you already know what it is. Yeah, the point is you getting your motivation back. Whatever you need to do to get it back, you need to do it. Especially if you're a man. As a man, you don't have any room to stay down for a long time. You always have to pick yourself up when you go down. That's the most important thing. We need to find a way to to pick ourselves back up, start doing the things we need to do, because as a man, you don't have time. When in your 20s and 30s, that's when you're supposed to accumulate your wealth. Then from your 40s going, you enjoy it. So if you are in your 20s and you're slacking off, your 30s are going to be very difficult and filled with a lot of pressure, because You have just your 30s to accumulate that wealth, and in your 40s, when you are declining physically, that's not when you are going to, put pressure on yourself to do all those things. Your 20s and your 30s are when you can put pressure on yourself. You can take on the burden of doing all that work, physical work, stressing yourself out, so that in your 40s you can calm down, relax. All the wealth you've accumulated during that period, you can invest it into stocks, farming, or whatever you put it in, you can put it in that. But then you have to accumulate that wealth first, especially if you are doing a 9 to 5 where they are not going to be paid so much. Let's be honest, if you're not a manager or maybe a managing director, you're not going to be paid so much. So if you struggle to accumulate that wealth in your 20s through to your 30s, it's very good. You can invest it somewhere and make high dividends from that investment. So I think you can get your motivation through people, through thinking about the people who need you to get to where you're supposed to get to. That's a good source of motivation. If you can motivate yourself, you can think about them for them to motivate you. That's why I think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.